Greetings! So, yeah, a catalogue of mistakes that have happened this week. First off, this little hatch in the shower wall, which is where the cupboard will be to store the toilet, I failed to, when I measured it and planned it out, I failed to take into account that radiator cover on the left-hand side. So that little hatch is too small, so I had to modify that. And that means that the drawer runners for the door also have to move a little over to the right, which means I have to extend this wall a little bit. With that done, I moved my attention to the shower section of that radiator cover. Now, as you see, I've got this old aluminium ventilation piece, which I'm gluing on upside down deliberately, so that the heat can rise up out of it and water can't splash up into it so easily. I want to use this piece of extruded aluminium that I've got for the next stage of this heater, and it's going to have some spaces in between it. This will all make sense in a minute when I show you it all assembled, and hopefully you'll see how it's meant to work. This piece of aluminium is almost perfect for this situation, this job, but it's just a little bit too short on the outer side. It should go down a little bit longer, so I have made a trip to my scrap aluminium pile. I almost settled on this aluminium trim, which would have looked nice, but it's about 4mm too thin. Should go down an extra 4mm. So I decided I'm going to make my own. So I cut a piece of aluminium and bent the edge of it over, folded the edge over, and I've noticed that some of this old aluminium, this is off the 1960s bus, is kind of, I know aluminium's not meant to corrode, but it's kind of got this corrosion pitting texture to it, which I really like. So I decided to codista, no, that's the Finnish word. Enhance? Maybe it's enhance. Enhance that pitting by spraying this aluminium strip with the rust spray and then sanding it back with the orbital sander, leaving the rust in those pits. Turned out nice, gave it a spray of matte varnish. The extruded aluminium piece got the graphite wax, or graphite paste treatment, but now I'll show you how it all goes together and how I'm hoping it's going to work. So there's the main radiator cover, and as you can see there's a gap, I think it's 24mm between the main radiator cover where the radiator is inside and the wall. But let's get a close-up. So the heat should rise up through these little upside down vents, and that should warm up all the aluminium. But remember, this will be, when it's switched on, will be fan assisted air, warm air. So the hope is that there's a 4mm gap down here where the air will then be able to come out. Now importantly, this edge, this bottom edge here, falls well below that upside down vent there. So water should not be able to splash back up in there. But here's where I made my next big mistake. I set about getting this all assembled, gluing the spacers in place, attaching the top cover, and then I realized that I had forgotten to seal this seam. So no choice but to tear it all down and redo it after sealing that seam. I won't bore you with watching it all over again. I mentioned at the end of the last video that I found some new materials, and these boards come from the advertising boards, billboards I guess you call them, at the side of the road. It's plastic, so it's waterproof, It's incredibly light, and I had bought the waterproof plywood for doing the shower walls, but it's 85 euros per board, which is incredibly expensive in my opinion. So if I can do the other walls of the shower with this stuff, that's going to save me a whole load of weight and money. And I got these for my favourite price, which is of course free. So I found that putting a light behind this board means that I could see the frame through it, and I could then attach the board up onto the frame with a whole load of staples, which I then realised was another mistake. I'll explain in a little while. Next up, I decided to try and make the doors for the back room, and I decided to try and use this same roofing metal that I used on the outside of the van. I'm fixing it to the drawer runners with pop rivets, and I'll be completely honest with you here, I didn't really think this was going to work. In fact, this is the point where I realised it was going to work. I thought this was going to be me talking about, oh well, it's always worth trying these crazy ideas because eventually one of them's going to work. But it seems it is going to work. I thought that it would be impossible to get all the drawer runners lined up properly, and that the top of the door would slide before the bottom of the door and they would jam up. But no, it seems that this really is going to work. Now, two things to note here. Firstly, these drawer runners are going to remain visible. I don't mind that too much, but I've got a plan, the surface treatment for this door, that instead of trying to hide the drawer runners, is actually going to kind of, in a way, almost draw attention to them. You'll see what I mean in a minute. But the second thing to note is the fixing system that I devised for these drawer runners means that the back attachment point for each runner has to be attached from this front side. And of course, that's why it was a mistake to fix that plastic board onto the left-hand wall, the shower wall, because I still need access to the front of the drawer runners for the door on that side. But found another advantage to this billboard material. After pulling out about 30 staples, I found I'm actually able to just fold part of the wall back out of the way and get access to the back of the drawer runners. I said that I attached the door with pop rivets. Now that is the plan, but the first door I attached initially with just self-tapping little screws, so that I'm able to easily take it off, so that I can do the surface treatment I've got planned. And also I decided to stiffen the door up a bit with a really lightweight metal frame. And here's another material that I've found in the last couple of weeks, which is going to really help things out. So if you've been following along, you may remember that I was doing experiments with brazing aluminium, trying to find a way that I could make frames for cupboards and benches and things like that from a light material that would be strong. And turns out I've kind of got there in a different way. The scrap metal skip that is just down the road from me is the gift that just keeps on giving. It's spring now, and it seems people are redoing their garden setups. This metal seems to be, I'm guessing, like garden pagoda kind of stuff, trellises for things to grow up, and it's incredibly light. I actually thought it was aluminium when I found it, but it turns out it's actually steel. It's just very thin steel. Now I can build all my frames with this stuff, and the advantage is I can weld it. So I've kind of got to the same outcome. I'm still interested in the aluminium brazing. I've been looking out for an oxyacetylene kit, cheap, online, used, but it hasn't come along. In the meantime, this is a great solution, and of course, absolutely free. So back to the doors and the surface treatment that I'm going to use on here. You may think I'm crazy when you see this. I decided that if I could put a technological machine kind of background on these doors, then the the drawer runners just kind of become part of that design. I think it's worked. I'm really interested to see what people think of this. So let me know in the comments. I put the stickers on both doors and welded up the light metal frames and riveted the doors to the frames, and you'll see in a minute how it all turned out. Now I've put a piece of the billboard material on this little section of wall here, but you'll notice that I've got a battery sitting on the worktop there. That's gluing down the aluminium plate that I had made before. You may remember I tried putting some plastic film on it and the plastic film was defective. Well, the new stuff arrived and I got that put on, so that means I can install this, and it's great timing because the LED strips have arrived for the light panel that's going to be going above this counter. Now, I've never worked with LED strips before, don't really know how they work, so this is a learning experience for me. I've got two pieces, 1 meter each, and those get cut down because the strips go on the left hand side and the right hand side of this screen that I'm building. The strips that I got actually came with the wires attached, which I wasn't expecting, so I'd also ordered the little ready wire clips that you clip onto the ends of the strips. So what I'm going to do is use one of those clips to test out the part of the strip that I cut off to see if that works. And it does. So the next mistake that I made was I have had these pieces from the TV for this light panel knocking around the house for now a couple of weeks, and it kept getting in the way. I had to move it several times. At one point it was leaning up against the wall and all the layers slipped down onto the floor. So I'm not sure I've got the layers in the right order anymore. There's actually 6 layers to this thing. So I decided I would have to get this partially set up and then wire it up just with some temporary wires, and then try all different configurations of what the order of the layers goes. And if you want to see if this light panel works, then tune in to the next episode and you will see. Only joking, I wouldn't do that to you. So I tried several different configurations of these 6 layers, and in the end I actually decided the one that I liked was one where I actually leave one of the diffusion layers out completely. While I was working on this light, I noticed that I've got a little waste of space in between the door to the back area and the little wall next to this light panel. There's a couple of centimeters in there that I'm not making use of, so I decided I would make a little shelf and recess it into that little piece of wall. So this video's gone on a little bit longer than my normal videos, but there's been a lot happening, so I had to try and get it all in. There's more that I've already done, so there's a good chance that the next video won't take long to come out. I haven't got much done on the engine because I'm waiting for a package of parts that is coming from the UK and that has been held up in customs for nearly a month now. But we'll get back to that soon. But I did say that I was going to show you how those back doors look once they were installed. So let me know what you think. I reply to all messages, and don't forget I've got a buy me a coffee link down below. Thanks a lot for watching. See you on the next one.